Fox News is not having a good week. Now, we've heard a lot about the lawsuits against Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes, but it turns out that there is another former Fox employee by the name of Judith Slater, who was the comptroller, who is also dealing with lawsuits due to racism and discrimination. Now, there are 3 women who have filed this suit against Fox News because of their inaction, or what they say was the inaction toward the comptroller. Tabrese White, Monica Douglas, and Tichaona Brown filed a lawsuit against the network and Slater, accusing them of racial discrimination. Now, here are some of the allegations against Slater. Walking down the hallway, if you encountered Judith Slater, she would put her hands up, you know, in this motion, I guess, mocking the Black Lives Matter movement, walking to the bathroom, even saying goodnight to her. She required us to say goodnight at 6 or whatever time you were leaving. And instead of saying goodnight, it was hands up, don't shoot. That was the tipping point for me. So all 3 plaintiffs in this case are Black women. Judith Slater is white. And they spoke about this lawsuit on Good Morning America, and we have a couple clips.
Before we go to that, and what's you're about to see is even worse. But if my employer told me, no, before you leave, since you're Black, you have to go hands up, don't shoot. Oh my, look, I don't blame them because they had it, you know, jobs, and it's hard to get a job, and it's tough. But man, that's so nuts. That is so degrading, so ridiculous that I can't imagine it. But it's about to get much worse.
Yes, so I want you to hear from the women themselves. Again, this was on Good Morning America. Let's take a look at the first clip.
She would often say, call me out, cancer girl, or one boob girl.
Just in the normal course of business?
In the normal course of business, they in front of my staff.
And according to the complaint, you raised these issues with Fox's general counsel, Diane Brandy. So what happened then?
That's also correct. I had a discussion with Diane regarding Judy's behavior and expressed my experience with her. And Diane simply said, she's untouchable.
Untouchable?
She cannot be fired because she knows too much.
Oh, that's what it is. I was wondering why in the world wouldn't you fire this despicable person? Now, I get it. Look, Fox is built on racism. So part of the things that she said, like saying that Black people mispronounced their words, that the Black Lives Matter movement was racist. Well, that's what they say on air on Fox News.
They do. I mean, it's interesting because it's not like, I don't know, it's not like someone suing Mother Teresa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. So that part I understand. First of all, it's still wrong, and you can't do that. That's against the law, and you will and should get sued for racial harassment if you do that. But at least that part is imaginable, okay?
Yeah.
Somebody says cancer girl to someone and mocks them for having cancer, put aside the racial stuff for a second, or calls them one boob girl because they had breast cancer and lost the breast. How is that not an immediate firing offense? If someone said that here, at a bare minimum, I would pull them aside and be like, what on God's green earth were you thinking? And if they don't have the best answer in the world, they're gone. That is beyond despicable. So, but the last thing she said there, Anna, explained it all. Because remember all the dirty stuff that's going on inside Fox News.
She knew too much.
So if she knows the dirty stuff, she has leverage over her bosses. That's why they can't remove her, and that's why she feels empowered to say, I can say anything I want. I can mock you all I want. I could say, I could make you put your hands up. Ha ha, I'm untouchable because I got dirt on the bosses.
Right, and honestly, Fox News, according to the lawsuit, and remember, we just know what the lawsuit says. We know what the women are saying during this interview, but based on what they're saying, Fox News refused to fire Slater until they came out and were public about the fact that they intended on suing. And then all of a sudden they decided to fire Slater. So let's give you some more details from their own words, or in their own words. Let's take a look at the next video.
She called me down to her office one day, and she was actually in a meeting with her accounting team, and she had these words on Post-its, and she said, Tichaona, I want you to say this word. And it was mother. And then she picked up another one, and it was father. And ask, fifth, all of these words. And I said, why do you have me doing this? And she's just like, Black people continuously mispronounce these words, and I have a couple of people, black people on my staff, and it just seems words that are always mispronounced in meetings, and she wanted to see if I as well mispronounce these words.
The degree to which that is demeaning is indescribable. How could any decent human being allow someone to do that to their employees? Well, that presupposes that there are any decent human beings inside of Fox News.
Well, I don't want anyone to misinterpret this as me making excuses for her, because I think Judith Slater is a horrible, horrible person for treating individuals like this, if evidence proves that she did treat people like this. But she's a miserable person, right? Happy people, content people do not go out of their way to make others miserable. She is a miserable, sad person.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, this is the old thing that I tell my kids. If there's a bully, it's because they're sad inside. No one who's happy goes around bullying other people like that.
How do you bully someone who suffered from cancer? I don't understand. Like, that doesn't even register in my mind. I can't even fathom doing that to anyone, even my worst enemy.
There's got to be a special darkness in your soul, and created probably by some trauma. Maybe we're outliving ourselves here by saying, like, I mean, Judith Slater, if all of this stuff is proven in court, had to have something go disastrously wrong in her life to treat other human beings that way.
It's so bad. All right, so let's hear from one other plaintiff in this case, and here's another pretty disgusting, deplorable thing.
What are the circumstances where she comes up to you and asks you if all your children have the same father?
We were in the elevator one day, and she came up and she saw me with a bag, and she was like, "Oh, big bag," and I'm like, "Yes," and she's like, I'm gonna take my food home because I didn't finish eating it. I'm gonna take it to my kids. She's like, "Oh, you have children?" I'm like, "I have 3, all by the same man?" And I'm like, "Yes." I was shocked.
Wow.
So to me, the amazing part is not that Judith Slater appears to be one of the worst people we've ever heard about. Again, they'll go to court and see how it gets proven out, but that it's allowed. To me, that's a lot worse. You can run into bad people. It happens. Are there people who are deeply racist? Yes. But for that to be allowed to go on for years upon years in a workplace is unreal. That not just, again, even if you put the racial stuff aside, for a boss to demean their employees in that kind of a sick way, and her bosses go, "Oh, no problem with that. Yeah, keep calling her one boob girl." Oh God. Just when you thought Fox News couldn't get any worse.
And just to circle back around to the point that was made regarding how Slater knows too much about the company. She was a 19-year veteran at Fox News. She had been there for a very, very long time. So I'm sure she saw a lot of things. I'm sure she experienced a lot of things. And that was probably one of the reasons why Fox News was, ignoring the issue and was completely, inactive when it came to dealing with it.
This kind of toxic environment for 19 years. By the way, what might she know? Now we're gonna get into speculation. If you're the comptroller, you know where the money's going. And if you saw money leaving for sexual harassment settlements, which were not reported publicly, which is illegal, which is what New York State is pursuing right now. Those charges might be coming at Fox News soon. That's what Preet Bharara was investigating when he was removed by Trump. And if you had access to that information, and we know that that happened at Fox News, then you can go to your bosses and say, "Hey, let me treat black people any way that I want. Let me demean anyone I want and run roughshod here because I know where you took that money and didn't report it."
Yeah, and I don't even think she has to be that explicit about what she wants to do. Yeah. She's just gonna get that protection by default if there is some wrongdoing at Fox News that she knows about and can use against the employer.
Yeah, that's probably what led to this carte blanche. And you give somebody a Fox News carte blanche and watch out. If you're a member of the Young Turks, you not only get the whole 2-hour Young Turks show on demand anytime you want, ad-free, but you also get so many other shows. Old School, you'll love it. Aggressive Progressive for guys who are true progressives. Now also Nerd Alert for gaming and tech. What the Flick for movie reviews. You will love it. Check it out right now at tytnetwork.com/join.